Welcome to Craft Plan Create. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you for finding me today on YouTube. This is Monica at Craft Plan Create. Today we're going to be doing the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So the first thing you need is a signature. A signature is created of folios. A piece of paper is a piece of paper, but when you fold it, it's considered a folio, and each folio has 4 sides. Let me demonstrate. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the folios are folded along the center. Each center crease will be lined up one on top of the other to create your signature. Generally speaking, your signature has a thicker outer cover and like regular thinner papers on the inside. So this can be like a medium weight thickness, usually cardstock. These are lighter weight papers folded together to create a unifying body. Okay, so as you can see, all the seams are really tucked in there. When you're aligning your pages, like for me, there are certain aspects of the signature that I really want right. So I want this doily aligned along the bottom. I'll use these bulldog clips and clip them on. So before I can bind my signature, I definitely need some supplies. You need a ruler, like I said, the bulldog clips, and something to sew with. So I use, generally speaking, I use some kind of waxed cord. This is a pre-waxed Brazilian cord. It's a 0.55 millimeter. I have also used embroidery floss, and this is baker's twine. If your floss or your twine is not pre-waxed, you can wax it using beeswax, and that's what I've done with this baker's twine here. And this is how you wax your thread. You run it along the top of the beeswax until you get the coating that you like. Working with wax thread is a lot easier. It keeps the thread together. Now, I would not recommend, personally, I would not recommend using sewing thread. It's so thin, my experience has been that it rips my signatures apart. So I like to use something thicker. Okay, next thing you will need is something to puncture your signature pages with. So you can use an awl, and that is spelled A like apple, W like walrus, L like love. An awl, you can use a thumbtack or this paper puncture that I have gotten in a kit many moons ago. Thank you, Making Memories, for that. And you also need a needle to sew your signature together with. Generally speaking, most bookbinders do not recommend that you go lower than 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. So that's there. Or 3/4 of an inch from the top. So that would be there. They say that it makes your signature weaker when you do that. And also, generally speaking, I throw all that to the wind. Of course, I stay away from my sides, from the top and the bottom, but I eyeball it, and this is what I do. You can use an old book, even though this is a great book. Sorry, alchemist author here. You can use that to hold your signature in, and then you can puncture. But this is what I do. You can use an old phone book or anything. I just like to eyeball it, and here I'm going to go for it. So I like to push it all the way through and then go around a little and make sure that that hole is wide enough for me to sew in. And then I kind of fold it again, and firmly, with great confidence, I puncture the next hole, and then I go make a third hole, because again, we are doing the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So let me go ahead and do that third hole. So what I have done today, And this is what I've come up with. I made this little template here. Okay. And this is what I'm going to do. As you can see here, it says 3-hole pamphlet stitch. You're going to thread single thickness, no knot, and that's what I've done here. This is a single thickness, and there's no knot at the end, no knot at the front. Then you're going to puncture 3 holes, A, B, C, A, B, C. You're going to clip the pages of the signature together, which I have done, and you're going to pierce the pages to sew or bind your signature. Okay, so step 1, you are going to, and this is how I'm writing this. Step 1, you're going to take the needle through either from the inside to the outside or the outside to the inside. Either way it works, it just depends on where you want your thread to be or your knot to be. Sometimes people want it on the outside of their signature, sometimes people want it on the inside. In my situation, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the inside. So I'm going to sew from the inside out, and then I want to leave a 2-inch tail out. So let's go ahead and do that first step. Okay, so here is hole B, and I'm going from the inside out. And here it is. You see this? You might have this issue, and you just pull firmly. What I like to do to make sure that my thread does not pull out is I will clip this right in. And I just want to pull it a little firm. Not hard, just firmly. So now that this is out, we have completed step 1. We took it from the inside of hole B to the outside. Now we're going to go to step 2, which we're going to take it from hole B to hole A. Okay, so here is hole A, and of course, now this does not want to cooperate. Oh, no, that didn't cooperate. Okay, hole B to hole A. Okay, and there we are. Hole B to hole A. So we've completed step 2, and now we're going to go from hole A to hole, step 3, A to C. So here we go. Here's hole A, and we're going to go to C. There we are. Okay, so as you go through, you just want to make sure that your thread isn't caught on any of these clips or anywhere on each other, on itself. And then now we are ready for step 4, and we're going to go from hole C to hole B. Sorry about that blobby B, but there it is. Okay, so let's go ahead. And the key thing here is we do not want to go through our thread. We're going to try really hard not to do that. So what I'm doing is just firmly holding this thread over here. And let's go ahead and go through. And there we are. Okay, so as you can see here, and then finally step 5 is remove the needle from the thread, which is exactly what I just did. And I'm going to leave that there just for a second. Hopefully that doesn't fall on the ground. So now this is what we have. Let's go ahead and remove our clips. You see all this uneven thread. What you can do with the 3-hole stitch, and it's harder when you have more holes, is you can adjust this thread. Okay, so there, that's pulled nice and firm. And that's okay that we have some extra thread. Now with this extra thread, let's go ahead and tie it. What I like to do is I like to have this one tail on each side of the center thread. Let me show you. You see how it's embracing it like an arm, and this is over those 2 pieces. Now we're going to do a secure knot. We're going to go right over left and tie, and then we're going to go left over right and then tie. Now what some people do is you can put a bead on there, you can make a bow with this, which is probably what I'm going to do. There we are, but I'm going to make it a little smaller. I want a giant bow. And then you're going to cut the excess with the scissor. Okay, and that is it. You have made your signature, you've bound it together. So here are the rules for that again. If you want to snap a picture. Okay, so there are various kinds of pamphlet stitches. We did the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. There is a 5, a 7, a 9, and it just gets a little bit more complicated. For the 5-hole, I'm just going to quickly review this here. For the 5-hole, instead of making the ABC holes, you're going to do 5 holes, right? So you'll do the 3 just like I did, but you kind of go between the bottom hole and the middle hole to make your D hole, D like dog, and you will go between the top hole and the center hole to make your B like boy hole. And you're going to weave in and out. So what I mean by that is, okay, so you have the 5 holes. You're going to go in through C, and then you're going to go from C to B. And then you're going to, step 3 will be, you'll zigzag from B back to A, and then step 4, A to B, and then step 5, you skip that center hole. See, go from B to D. Step 6, you'll go from D to E. And step 7, you'll go from E back to D, like David. And then 8, you'll go from D to C. And then you'll do that knot again. Okay? So it's not that difficult. You're just weaving in and out. And remember that very first step where I said it just depends on where you want your knot to be. So you can either start from the inside and your knot will be there, or I could have started from the outside and my knot would have been here, right? In a way, I think the knot on the outside would have looked really cute too. So maybe I'll redo that. I couldn't live with my bow on the inside of my signature, so I took it apart and we're going to do it again. I'm just going to make a little dainty bow. And let's clip the excess. And there we are. This will be ready to use in my bird's eye view of the world journal. I hope you enjoyed that video. And if you have, please give me a great big thumbs up, comment, and let me know what you think. And otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.